welcome back to Barnstable this morning. Just about 10 minutes past the top of the hour on this Tuesday morning. I'm Sarah Colvin, and joining me live on the phone, I welcome our Chief of Police, Paul MacDonald. Chief, good morning.
Good morning, Sarah.
How are you today?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm doing well. So, Chief, I think the big news today is the licensing authorities ruling to take away the licenses for the Shanghai Chinese Restaurant. I know the site of many police activities over the years. Tell me a little bit about kind of the investigation that led up to this event.
Well, Shanghai has been a problem for quite some time. This is not the first time they've been before the licensing authority, but during the course of summer months, the street crime unit has noted an uptick in the activity at the Shanghai. People going in there, they're spending a minimum amount of time in there, and then they're leaving. They obviously didn't purchase any food. They're going out empty-handed. They decided to set up surveillance on it. They did detect some obvious drug dealing within the establishment. At that time, they were able to develop an informant that was willing to work with them, and then the investigation opened. It started in the first part of September, and they made 12 controlled buys from 6 different individuals inside the establishment. And it was quite eye-opening the way it was going. I mean, it was open drug dealing right inside the establishment. I've never seen anything like that before. The way they were conducting their activity, they literally had taken over the restaurant.
Can you talk a little bit, Chief, about a controlled buy, just for people who might not be aware of how that operation works?
What that works, this particular individual who was cooperating with the police department lives lives in the area and was quite concerned about the uptick in drug activity in the whole east end of Main Street. They formed a bond with the street crime unit, and we decided to set up the operation. And what they do is when you go in there, you have the individual, you first search the individual to make sure they have nothing on them. You give them X amount of money that they will need to purchase the narcotics. The bills are all clearly marked and recorded in the police log. The person then goes in, sits down, and usually the individual comes up to the person looking for the transaction. The individuals during this one was actually wearing some surveillance equipment, so we have videoed and recorded most of the transactions. So it's an interesting case. Shanghai losing its license, being revoked, its common victuals and its liquor license is only part of it. The next part of it is going to be the criminal aspect in either district or superior court.
Chief, is there any concern that the activity, the clubhouse type activity that was happening at the Shanghai might move to another establishment in the area? Is there going to be an increase in surveillance of other local establishments to ensure that this isn't happening elsewhere?
That has already started. We know some of the individuals who were in the Shanghai have moved to different restaurants late at night, and they are attempting to start the similar activity. We have been in contact with them, the management. We have some police officers in there. The undercover and the street crime unit and narcotics unit have been putting these individuals under surveillance. They know it, and they know we're looking at them, so we think we're going to be able to deter it. This happens. I understand the Shanghai. I understand they don't speak English very well, but all they had to do was come to us, and we could have solved this problem by working together. And we tried doing that, but for whatever reason, they chose not to get us involved.
Right, and as we saw it, I watched the entire licensing authority hearing yesterday, Chief, and really, repeatedly, with all the allegations, with the things that were going on, and it was like, why didn't you just, pick up the phone and call and report this activity,
right.
Or at least, get someone to come in and help out, and that just didn't seem like it was happening.
Right, and it was no secret what was going on in there. I mean, we've had many conversations with the management. I mean, they knew what was going on. We told them what was going on, and we told them this is how we can help you. Simply by putting a mock cruiser out there would have put everybody out of business. But for whatever reason, they chose not to. So it's unfortunately, Barnstable Police Department, we like to think ourselves as pro-business. We work closely with the BID and the Hyannis Chamber of Commerce. Last thing we want to do is put anybody out of business.
Absolutely, but perhaps not pro the drug business, right?
No, not pro-drug business. You're right.
That's certainly one business we don't want to promote here.
And that's a problem. Down the east end of town, that's been a huge problem. We talked last week about the number of drug overdoses for the entire year. But since the beginning of this year, January 1st, we've already had 11 drug overdoses this year and 1 death. So it's continuing. So the fight continues.
Absolutely, and I would think, Chief, that just the forcing the Shanghai to close, losing their licenses, seeing that business shut down as a result of this activity is really going to send a message, not just to the business community, but to the drug dealing community as well, that the BPD is really serious about dealing with this issue.
Absolutely. We are clearly trying to send a message to everybody. The licensed establishments, who we have a great relationship with them anyway. We don't expect any further problems with them. But, when you do an operation like the Shanghai, and 2 months ago when we did the operation against the spas and the massage parlors and the illegal prostitution. We closed those 4 places down. That's sending a clear message to everybody that this type of activity is not going to be tolerated in this community.
Absolutely. Well, Chief, it's a positive step, I think, as we deal with the drug issues. Looking back on the past week, any other items of significance that occurred?
Because of the cold weather is definitely a deterrent to any type of criminal activity. But Saturday was kind of a crazy day. First, we had a fire on Spring Street. The house was somewhat damaged on the exterior. The fire marshal has determined it to be arson, only because they've eliminated any points of ignition because it started on the outside. We're not exactly sure what happened. The house was actually under renovation, and the fire could have started from a discarded cigarette because we know homeless individuals were staying there. And the other thing, just after the fire came in, we had an individual traveling Route 6 and come up in Yarmouth Road. We called the Mass State Police for an erratic operator. The vehicle was subsequently stopped at the Cape Cod Hospital, but prior to getting there, he had actually crashed into 6 different vehicles from Yarmouth Road en route to Cape Cod Hospital, and he was subsequently arrested and charged with OUI. When they questioned him why he was at the hospital, he was going to hospital to try to get himself into detox. Obviously, he needs it.
Absolutely, 6 different vehicles in one fell swoop. Very interesting. Well, Chief, I thank you so much, as always, for joining us here on Barnstable this morning, and we will catch up with you again next Tuesday. Have a great day.
Okay, talk to you then.
Thanks,
Bye-bye.
Chief. Bye-bye. Chief of Police Paul MacDonald, always providing some great insight on police action here in the town of Barnstable. Much more to come on the show.